And is I see that your display name has changed. So should we? Uh,
Oh, right.
so do we refer to you now as Cheapy?
That's so funny. Oh, I totally forgot that I had it, but this is because there was a DAO, I think, if I'm not mistaken, that I was part of. And then Nerd's AI note taker named me as Cheapy instead of Chibi in the summary, like the AI summary that it gives you by the end of the call. And I'm like, that's
Yeah.
so funny. I need to rename myself. This is AI giving me a new name, so I am embracing it. But I think it's so cute. So now I'm
Yeah.
Chippy. Yeah.
Cheapy. Well, if I didn't know better, it's going to be hard, I think, in the future. This is totally off topic, but how do we even know
Yeah.
that? Because AI is so good if this is actually really chibi or if this is Chibi's AI.
It's so funny. Yeah, it may be confusing. I'll make sure to change it later, but please feel free to refer to me as Chibi or Chippy. They sound similar.
Okay.
I guess it's not a huge difference. But yeah, just a fun fact of how that happened. But we are ready to get started. We are live on Twitter and YouTube. So hello everyone. Very glad to have both Raymond and James joining us today to present Telefrens during these deep dives. So thank you both for joining, and we can get started whenever we are ready.
Excellent. Well, if everyone can hear me, I want to say thank you, Chibi, for that fun fact backstory. It's always fun to hear the origins of any kind of name change there, and having the AI not be able to write your name correctly is pretty funny. Um, so let's dive in. I am James Young, CEO of Abridged, and I have with me Raymond Feng, CTO of Abridged. I don't know, Raymond, do you want to do a quick shout out?
Yeah, so excited coming back to this forum to share a lot of interesting development we have here. So we just launched the Telefrens, and we are becoming a user feedback and a metrics driven development environment. So there are a lot of new initiatives going on. So as James unfold the features of Telefrens, I can chime in to share some insights.
Yeah, great. Thank you. I know Raymond and the whole entire team has been working tirelessly over the last few months, and we have launched a new product. It's a SocialFi product called Telefrens. We're really excited about it, and I'm not going to assume anyone in the audience knows what Telefrens is. What we're going to do is, if we go to the agenda, I'm going to talk through a bunch of kind of tech that we've built out when it comes to Telefrens and describe what Telefrens is. So I'm going to go through this agenda, and then I'm going to switch and screen share so you can actually see it. And then we'll go back to these agenda items and deconstruct from like a technical deep dive perspective the different aspects of Telefrens. So what you're about to see is a Telegram mini app. So instead of creating our own website or our own platform, just like we do with Collabland, we're just leveraging other platforms, and we're starting this SocialFi experiment with Telegram. For those that have used Collabland, you may know historically that we also started Collabland on Telegram. And we then eventually moved to Discord, and Discord actually is where the majority of our user base is at. And this is where we hold our town halls, and we have our official Collabland server is on Discord. And this is where we are having this deep dive right now, this dev deep dive for those that are listening to this recording outside of Discord. We're leveraging the Telegram bot direct message or DM as a way to provide notifications to the user. So when I switch over to the Telegram app, Telefrens, you'll see that. And underneath the hood, what we are doing is, oh, if we want to stay back, sorry, Chibi, go back to that. I'm just going to go through the whole agenda first. So if you, underneath the hood, are asking like, how are you doing this in Telegram? Well, we're using smart accounts. And you'll see in the demo a couple of highlights, and I'll go through them, but I just want to prep the audience as we are about to see the screen share that I'll present. One is sponsored transactions, and then two is passkey security. And that's just kind of the tip of the iceberg here. And we'll probably pause when we talk about smart accounts and let Raymond explain in a bit more detail what is happening. And then finally, we're not going to show this in this demo that I walked through, but I wanted to mention and highlight Telefrens Pro. And you'll be able to, as a Telefrens user, be able to upgrade to Telefrens Pro. And this Telefrens Pro is what we've learned from a lot of feedback, talking to other people and creators or key opinion leaders, the KOLs that have used other SocialFi apps. And what is important to them is bot front running protection. And that kind of is this hidden secret that is plagued a bunch of SocialFi apps, is this bot front running. And so Raymond will be able to talk about that in more detail. We also have a new feature because we are in Telegram, and we are able to provide the first of its kind SocialFi experience in Telegram. We are also able to mix in, for those that are using trading bots in Telegram, we're able to mix in some trading bot features. So with Telefrens Pro, you will also be able to get what is called copy trading. And that is a bit of alpha that we're dropping here today, because Telefrens has been live for about a week, but we are launching copy trading this week. So if you upgrade to Telefrens Pro, you will not only get bot front running protection, but you will also be able to do copy trading. And we're going to make announcements on that once that goes live this week. And we can talk about also this kind of final aspect of it that impacts Telefrens Pro, but also just the whole Telefrens product in general, where we are able to easily upgrade the contract. And we can also talk about one of the feature upgrades that that's on the roadmap, which is gifting. And we can talk about that in a little bit more detail when we get to it. So without further ado, let's jump into this. I'm going to share my screen so that I can run through a test drive of Telefrens, if that's okay with everyone. What do you guys think?
I think that'd be super fun. I will then stop sharing my screen so that it's less confusing. And let's give this a try. Please let me know when you want me to share screen again.
Okay, will do. I am
Alright.
cleaning up my desktop right now as we speak so that I can tidy up a little bit for all the guests to see my workspace. All right, whenever you're ready, Chibi. Let's see.
All right.
You may need to stop screen sharing like you just did. Thank you. And then now the share screen is available to me. And I can go live with Telegram. I hope everyone can see my screen.
Okay, it is loading for me right now. Okay, it is coming through for me.
Okay, great. So this is the QA bot that we have. So this is not what's in production, but this is what is in QA. So typically, if you get a link or if you go to telefrens.com, you can click and you can actually go to the production bot. I'm going to showcase what is on QA because on QA, I'm able to reset and get my account like I'm a new user. So one of the first things that you do is you hit start. So this is just like any other Telegram chat bot that you're going to DM with. The difference is here, and I have this kind of protection so it doesn't show images, but you'll first see this image, and you'll be able to then launch the app. 1 second. Can we... Here, let me see. Let me reset again, actually, so that I can make sure that I'm all set. Okay, so I'm going to launch the app. And the first thing that you'll notice is that the bot is DMing back and forth. So here in the chat, I have these inline buttons. And what this inline button does is it launches, and this is what Telegram calls a mini app. So without leaving Telegram, I can actually have a web page. It's essentially an embedded website inside of Telegram. And here I'm going through the tutorial. And and I'll come back to this in a minute. You'll be able to see your balance since I already have launched my smart account and I have a balance already. You'll see that. But as a new user, what you'll see when you start out is a balance of 0. And now I'm going to go through this tutorial that first talks to me about my smart account. So first thing to notice is that we have an embedded account. So this is better than a wallet. It's a smart account. Then the tutorial shows that this is my profile and it's asking me to activate my profile. And what does activating my profile mean? It means like I need to quote unquote purchase my first pass. We're calling them passes. And when you purchase as a creator your pass, you are activating your profile. Now, this is a reset account and technically my profile has been activated, but since I'm going through the tutorial, you're going to see that it's guiding me through this. So what it's doing here is I'm clicking on this and it is submitting the transaction. So this is what we're calling a sponsored transaction. And with a sponsored transaction, because we have this chicken or the egg problem in crypto, is that in order to participate and interact with an app, you have to have crypto. But if you're a new user, how do you get crypto? Well, the first point here is, and we'll talk about this when we get back to the slides, is the sponsored transaction, where we are deploying your smart account on your behalf and we are activating your profile. So as a new user, you don't have to have any crypto to interact. We're able to sponsor this. And this is not quite possible technically when you just have a smart wallet or EOA. But when you have a smart account and with ERC 4337, there is this opening up of sponsored transactions, and we're taking advantage of this. So we welcome and want to onboard all new users to crypto. And with that, we want to make it easy for them to be able to activate their profile. So we're sponsoring their account. So you'll see that the account has been sponsored and that now we're live, and I don't have to have any crypto in order to be able to interact here. So that's the whole onboarding experience. That's all I needed to do. Now I have a smart account and I've activated my pass or my profile by purchasing the first pass. And you'll see here another innovation that we are looking at from a user experience perspective. Without having to leave Telegram, I'm able to receive notifications from the bot. So with this embedded web page, not only can I interact like I was on a website, but the bot also knows that I've been interacting with the website and it can send me messages. So it knows that I've done my activation. And so what it's telling me here is that I've bought a pass, and this is how much the pass is worth, and then I can view the transaction if I wanted to. Now, a second innovation that we have is passkey. I'm going to stop sharing so that I can share my full screen, because if I launch the register passkey, it's going to open up a new website. So I just thought of that. So bear with me for a second. I'm going to stop sharing, and then I am going to share my full desktop screens. Okay. Please let me know when you can see my full screen.
All right. Let's give it 1 minute. Okay, it's coming through for me.
Excellent. So I can actually show first, before I show the register passkey, you can see that the transaction has been submitted and that it occurred, and you can see all these different transactions underneath the hood. As a user, I did not even need to care about any of this because this was all sponsored for me. Again, this is using a new tech that I think is going to be widely adopted. It's called 4337, and it's sponsored transactions, and we'll go back to that in a bit. But here, we also have passkey registration. Since I've already registered my passkey, I don't have to do it again. So there's not much to see here, but it's underneath the hood. It is, a lot of innovation has happened here with passkey. Most notably, Apple, Microsoft, and Google are all moving to passkey. And what that means is that your account will be secured through encryption or cryptography that the major big tech providers are also promoting. And passkey is the next evolution of the internet in general. So this is not just a Web3 or crypto innovation. Passkey is evolution of the internet to move away from passwords. So we have that integrated, and so that if your Telegram account gets compromised or hacked, you still have a way of accessing your account. So there's a sense of self-sovereignty here. And because we're using 4337, we not only get sponsored transactions, we also get this ability for the bot to be able to do things on your behalf, but only as much as you as a user allow. Now, 4337 and smart accounts allow that option to happen, where that is not possible at all with just a traditional wallet. And we can go into the details of that a bit later, but that is the kind of main onboarding experience. So if I wasn't talking through it, and I've clocked this, you can get onboarded, get a smart account, and register your profile, activate your bonding curve, be on chain, all within about 30 seconds. And this is staying true to the values of Web3 or crypto when it comes to self-sovereignty. We give some added functionality where, because of the technology that we're using, the bot can assist you. This all without having to leave the platform. And so this is the innovation that we're bringing to SocialFi. We're hoping that this gets widely adopted. We are also able to do other things that I won't go into detail here, and I'll save that for another deep dive later on. And with that, we can get back to the slides. So I will stop sharing.
All right.
And if we can share, oh, I see it.
Yep, awesome. Is this the right slide? I can go back if needed.
Oh, no, this is great. Perfect. Thank you. So just to talk about the innovation here in terms of the Telegram mini app and the bot DM as a notification. Maybe now that we've seen the demo and we all have some context here, maybe open up this conversation with Raymond. And now we can transition this into kind of a more of a, let's say, kind of conversation, a deep dive, because, I am demoing this, but really it's the dev team led by Raymond here from a technical perspective that has really been hard at work here. And the first question I will ask Raymond is, what are the big, I would say, not issues, but things to tackle when it comes to those that are looking to create a Telegram mini app, and the issues we faced when trying to implement this crypto app inside of the Telegram platform.
Yeah, indeed. That's a really interesting challenge because on one hand, we want to bring the crypto insurance to the mainstream users through a social platform like Telegram. On the other hand, as developers behind the scenes, we really put a lot of effort to minimize all these different barriers. So James kind of briefly mentioned some of the perspectives, such as this crypto ownership chicken egg issue. Not only to say you don't have to install MetaMask, and we utilize this a new paradigm of smart cards to get you on board without any barriers. Very much like say we do interesting mapping here. Say you have a Telegram ID, right? And we can deterministically map the Telegram ID into some sort of like a signing agency that's capable of signing transactions or user operations for you. And using that as a seed, choosing a different blockchain, say we start with Option, right? So you will get that smart card address counterfactually without doing anything. So that's kind of amazing to get you started because now you don't have to fight with MetaMask browser extension and going through all the different steps and begging your friends to send some tokens to your smart account to start with. Right? Then with the capability of this ERC-4367 infrastructure, we also embrace a modular design for the smart card so that the smart card not only will be your starting point to engage any crypto transactions, and with the introduction of a paymaster, Collaborate is able to sponsor the gas fee so that we remove one hurdle from the exercise, which is say we don't expect you to have any native tokens to start with, and we know it's a challenge to get some native tokens onto L2 like Option, even for DJs. Okay? And along with the security constraints for the smart card, we really look at the different opportunities to make sure we fully protect your smart card. Not only you have a signer and potentially you can have multiple signers, then also passkey becomes an interesting, solution because it kind of sits between Web 2 and Web 3 from the technical point of view. It's based upon the asymmetric key pair infrastructure, which has already been used heavily in crypto. So, for example, if you have a MetaMask wallet, basically the MetaMask tool generate a key pair and kind of keep the private key in your local storage, protected by a password, right? But passkey is slightly different because passkey is being managed by your local security device, use the biological recognition, like for your face, for your fingerprints, and it also have a good name spacing because it can generate different key pairs for different so-called relying parties, basically for different sites. Like if you talk to Amazon, you talk to Google, you talk to Telefrens, you can get a different set of passkeys. Then we try to really improve the security of the smart card by enabling the passkey validation. That means you can actually use your passkey authentication as the authentication material. And that could be validated on chain directly with your smart account. And that allows you to perform transactions under your authority. So
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Finish up.
Go ahead.
And then I have okay. So this is really interesting in terms of the sponsored transaction and the passkey security. And let's break that down a little bit because if I'm coming in and I am used to MetaMask and, you know, on Uniswap or whatever dApp I'm using, what I would do is I would first authorize that the website could actually like view my wallet address, and then if I'm doing any type of transactions, like I have to, you know, approve, and I have to do all these things to allow that dApp to be able to move funds from my wallet and have and do that transaction. So my first question, if I'm new to this, I'm coming to it, I'm like, where are my private keys? Can you help break down kind of what we're doing with lit protocol, and how we're able to go around or not have the user from a onboarding experience have this, like, you know, saving your seed phrase and all of that, but at the same time, like, being or remaining non-custodial?
That's a great question, because I think from the technical point of view, there was a myth about private keys. Where EOA is the main, mechanism to interact with crypto, people assume the private key is a social truth. But really, from the crypto perspective, what we expect to have is a digital signature, right? Because for any transaction, you generate a hash from the transaction, and somebody need to sign that hash to produce a meaningful signature, and that signature can be independently verified on chain, so that we know whatever you are doing with that transaction is coming from the authorized party. So to me, the signing capability is really the social truth. So we don't necessarily have to rely on the private key to sign a transaction hash. So that's where the LIP protocol come into play. So LIP protocol to me is a next generation MPC network. So instead of maintaining the private keys by different parties, such as your local device, a user, and your platform provider, let have this innovation to use lambda-like function and use the function logic to control the threshold in signing by verifying some authentication materials coming from the user's ownership. So, for example, we can provision a PKP signer, and the signer could have access control list. And in that control list, you can register your passkey, you can register your Telegram ID, you can register your Discord ID. So it becomes a true multi-factor authentication to control the signing process. You don't care about the private key anymore, because the whole purpose is to sign, right? So that's why, like, the action, which is a lambda-like function running inside a decentralized network, that has the ability to verify different type of authentication materials and make a decision if they allow the signing to happen or not to happen. And if the action decides the signing is allowed to happen, then you're basically getting back a signature instead of a private key from LEP protocol, and that signature is the same signature as you usually would assign with MetaMask.
Okay, this helps. And so with that, you have this smart account, and we have this MPC network where now the MPC network is managing the key. So it's no one will be able to see that key, not even the nodes in the MPC network. And we have this lambda-like function that does the signature. And that's what you really want to do. Now, can you talk about how does the integration with passkey then work with the smart account, and why is passkey needed if we have this abstraction of the private key?
Yeah, so passkey is really innovative here to simplify the UI UX when it comes to protect the user's credentials, right? Because the passkey doing all this signature or key generation inside a security device on your computer, on your phone. And for each of the site it interact with, it generates separate isolated key pairs. So very much like just think about if you are working with some site like GitHub, as a developer, what you should do is you generate an SSL key pair. Then you upload the public key to GitHub itself so that the GitHub can verify your SSH connection to GitHub. But even better for passkey is that SSL key generation process is fully managed by the security device, under the control of your biological face recognition or fingerprint or a physical security key, right? Just imagine you have a magic, security box on your device, and that's capable of generating different key pairs and the management, the key signing process, right? Then it becomes fully non-custodial because very much only the user that have access to a secure device to do the digital signature. Then when it comes to the integration, so the passkey can provide two different roles in this whole process. So we talk about this, NPC, like signing agent, right? So in my opinion, like the future of wallet becomes two different things. One is the signing capability. The second one is the account, which is your real like account number holding the funds, which is a modular smart contract that can do a lot of meaningful things to that. And the passkey can get penetrate into both layers. So for the MPC signing capability, the passkey becomes a potential authorizer too. Like say, if we set up the passkey, the credential ID or the public key into the MPC network itself, then you could authenticate that signing capability with the passkey. On the other hand, since you have a smart account, which is deployed as a smart contract, we also enable a passkey validation module. That means natively on chain, you can verify the passkey-based signature. And these two different layers give us the best combination. So you can decide you enforce the authentication on the signing part, which is a prerequisite to exercise on any on-chain transactions, to utilize the passkey as a social choose. Then you can enable the passkey on the smart account. I mean, ideally, if we can natively enable the passkey smart account, then you get the benefit of both. But the unfortunate fact at this point is the passkey validation for the EVM blockchains are still early. So that means we utilize a little bit more gas, intensive operations instead of a pre-compiled native operation offered by the EVM. But there's some good push and the expectation for that pre-compiled passkey curve to be supported by the EVM. And whenever that happens, then the passkey signature verification will become very cost effective as the EOA, ECDSA signature. So I see the possibility of both sides. So we have this tiered access control and also authentication flow so that you can meaningfully enforce the passkey at different stages.
Got it. So to break that down, is it okay and correct to think about your smart account as like a multi-sig wallet, like or your smart account like a Gnosis safe, for example? And what we're doing is we have potentially two signers. It's like a one of two signer threshold. And one of the signers is an MPC network. So this is our partnership with Lit Protocol. And the second signer is the passkey. And you were saying that the passkey, when it comes to being the second signer, is not right now gas efficient because there aren't inherent opcode. So you have to do this in a smart contract itself. So you have not only the second signer being passkey, but also we're using passkey for an authorization for the first signer. It gets a little bit complicated, but for those that are viewing this that are more technically minded, we're using passkey twice. We're using it once as the authorization for the MPC signing, and we're using it as a second signer so that the passkey has authorization for the smart account. Am I explaining that correctly?
Yeah. So it's a little bit tricky here, but let's kind of peel the audience here, right? So I think the final social choose is your smart contract, right? Because no matter what you do with your MPC network, toward the end, your smart contract will be the like sender for any transactions, or in the context of ERC 4367, any user operations, right? So we need to fully protect your smart contract and give the user a meaningful access if you decide to take over the smart contract ownership with your expectations. So I kind of position the passkey enablement for the smart contract at this point as a recovery mechanism, because as I kind of mentioned early on, if every single time you have to go through the passkey validation to verify the signature of the transaction or the user operation, it kind of becomes sort of expensive. So I kind of reserve the passkey as the possibility to transfer the ownership. Say, if your MPC wallet is somewhat compromised because your Telegram identity credential was compromised, because there's a chain of reactions, right? So from the initial authentication material, say you have the Telegram auth, you have the passkey auth, which controls the MPC signing. Then the MPC signing will interact with the smart contract, right? So with the passkey enabled for your smart contract, you can possibly take over the whole ownership of the smart contract simply using the passkey, which nobody else have the ability to, access your passkey signature. So that gives you the final defense of your smart contract. And when it comes to the different features around the smart contract, I think the modular design of the smart contract is still evolving. So there's a new standard called ERC 6900, which is still in very early stage. And we're kind of heading to that direction. So we can implement different authentication schemes. So like this multi-sig scheme will be one of them. So that means you define threshold to say, okay, you nominate 3 cosigners, right? And you say, as long as you get at least 2 signatures from these 3 cosigners, then you allow that validation to go through, and your user operation will be accessed on chain. But on the other hand, you can implement other schemes. Say you register 3 cosigners, and then you can decide, okay, only 1 cosigner is good enough for certain type of transactions. Then in that case, you have the full flexibility, and potentially there's going to be this so-called smart contract module marketplace. And there are going to be management tools for your smart contract so that you can plug and play different capabilities into your smart contract. Just imagine you open an account with Citibank, and Citibank is offering different kind of services. Then your smart contract will become that placeholder or container for this plug and play ever extensible capabilities. So that's why, the smart contract will be the final social choose, and we have this ability to go through this chain of control, and the passkey will become the critical enabler for that. And then imagine if you have to use a passkey to authorize the signing, that's cheap because it's off chain, right? But the off-chain verification of the passkey signature inside the MPC network is cheap. So you can meaningfully only sets up the passkey for your MPC signing. But if you force the small account to use passkey every single time, at this point, it will becomes expensive. So that's why I'm seeing a divide of responsibility at this point, even though we use the same techniques behind the scenes. But over time, as the efficiency of the passkey validation improve in the blockchain side, then we see that potential the passkey will become the first class citizen to access the transactions based upon the digital signature.
I like how you position one of the passkeys, the signers, as a recovery method. And I think that for those that especially have been doing Web3 or been in crypto for a few years, this mental shift from an EOA where it's like all or nothing access to conditional access, because now you have a smart account and you can have multiple signers, is going to take a little bit of education and time. But I think for those that are like new to crypto and that are onboarding and don't have that history of private key management, I think it's going to be a relief. And I think, to be honest, that is probably a lot of the reason why people are hesitant to get into crypto, especially those that are not technically inclined. But now we have this opportunity to keep the values of Web3, right? When it comes to permissionlessness, self-sovereignty, and censorship resistance. And ultimately, it's all about decentralization. And we can keep those values, but keep the onboarding and the ease of use there for the average user.
Yeah, and also worth mentioning this modular design of the smart contract provides unlimited opportunities. So one of the good use cases, we can enable this called session key validation, because you don't want to, sign some transaction again and again. It's quite annoying, right? So there's a possibility we can enable your smart contract with a session key module. Then you can authorize the smart contract how long and for what operation that session key can have the delegate power. Then from the technical point of view, if you are working with a decentralized application in your browser, the session could generate a random private key for a certain period of time and store that into your local storage. And pretty much all the signing of the message we could happen directly with that local storage private key. For example, if you enable a session for 24 hours, right? Then you get a randomized wallet in your browser, and that randomized wallet browser has the private key to sign these session-based validation keys. Then the session-based validation keys has constraints. So when it comes to the smart contract side, we validate the a time frame for that session, and we also validate the access scope for that session key. So that's a great relief. That means for all the crypto transactions within that boundary, within that constraint, you don't have to see the pop-up all the time. So I think this modular design and a different kind of validation structure for the smart cards will give us the best balance between convenience and security.
Yeah, that's great. And thank you for pointing that out. And I think that we have a lot of really interesting future experimentation and design space to uncover when it comes to modular accounts. So I'm super excited. This is just not only going to help us immediately now, but it opens the door to a whole new world of better user experience and account management. I'm looking at the time. I know we're having 10 minutes left. Maybe we can move on to the next slide, which is the last slide, and then also have enough time because I think we have a POAP as well. So I want to give enough time for those that have been listening here and that are also listening on other channels here as well to be able to claim the POAP. But I do want to talk about this Telefrens Pro and what that is about. And maybe because we don't have a lot of time, maybe we can start bottom up. When we talk first about the upgradability, Raymond, if you can discuss kind of what does it mean that like these contracts are upgradable, and then give maybe a little bit of alpha here in terms of one of the first features that are going to be unlocked that we're going to deploy because these contracts are upgradable.
Yeah, so that's quite interesting from the both like product and technical perspective to make the smart contract upgradable and extensible. Not only upgradable, I want to emphasize the extensibility of the design. So we follow the proxy pattern for smart contract upgrade. So the key point is you have to make sure the storage layout for your smart contract in the proxy is consistent with your implementation, so that no matter how you evolve the implementation, you don't mess up with the current state of the smart contract. So that's number one. Number two is we introduce a registry pattern so that we can basically publish these upgradable packages or modules into that registry and give a level of version control, so that you have that, whitelisted implementations that the smart contract can opt into. And the number three is we make that a little bit more fine grained. That means it's not a yes or no decision to upgrade. We also give the subject, which is the creators, the ability to control their own implementation choices. So we maintain a mapping from the creator's smart account to different type of plugins, so that the creator itself can decide if they want to stay with the old version or opt into a particular version of the implementation. So these plugins are different bonding curves, different implementations for the Telefrens, functionality, and potentially that lead to the meaningful leverage of the funds accumulate to the creators' smart contract slot. There could be a DAO-like decision-making process that borrow the fund from the smart contract for better usage. But the bottom line is we are positioning our smart contract design to be upgradable, to be pluggable, to be extensible.
That's amazing. And for those that are listening in here that are understanding this proxy pattern, and thank you, Raymond, for the clarification, is that it's not a forced upgrade. Actually, it's under the creator's control when they would like to upgrade. And you also talk about this registry and extensibility. We don't have enough time. Maybe we can talk about this in another deep dive and maybe focus in on even 6900 and this kind of registry pattern that you have, because I think it's really exciting because as we just talked about in the previous slide about the modularity, and I think there's going to be a lot, and there is a whole deep dive or maybe two or three that we can even just talk about this concept. But we're running out of time. And what I would like to then just finish off the slide, and so that we have enough time for the POAP, is talk about copy trading. And so for those that purchase Telefrens Pro, you can have this feature called copy trading. And this is where we merge SocialFi and the trading bot together. And if you purchase as a creator Telefrens Pro, copy trading will allow you to build a transaction. And when you build a transaction, you're not executing it. What you're doing is you're generating a link. And that link can be given out to all the pass holders in your private group or to just anyone on the internet. When they click on that link, the recipient, the person clicking on that copy trading link, can execute that trade. So if you are a creator, you have alpha that you want to give, you can actually just say, hey, you know what, instead of explaining it to you and what you need to do here to make that trade happen, I'm going to give you a link. and the person just needs to click on the link and confirm the transaction, and that copy trade is made. It not only is beneficial so that the creator saves time in explaining where and how to do the trade and all of that technical like trading information. And it's not only easy for the recipient to just one click copy trade and execute that trade. What we are doing is we are giving portion of that trading fee to the creator. So it's like an affiliate fee, but it is on that you can send anywhere to anybody. So you get that trading, you get a percentage of that trading fee, and you make it easy for those that want to listen to your alpha as a creator to be able to do the copy trading. And then finally, if you purchase Telefrens Pro, you get this bot front running protection. This is one of the big things that we've seen other SocialFi apps suffer from is bots. And what Raymond has devised is a really clever and interesting way so that only the invite links that a creator has given out will be usable to buy a pass if the creator buys Telefrens Pro. And this prevents arbitrary bot front running. And the other SocialFi apps out there suffer from it, and this is why it's really difficult to maximize your value as a creator because of the bot front running. And so this is a really innovative feature that we hear loud and clear from the different creators at KOLs that have used other SocialFi apps. And we're really excited to bring this out, and we hope that other SocialFi apps also use this, because really at the end, and I'll close out here and we can do the POAP, is that for us at Collabland, we're really driven by values here. And our main value is community empowerment. And this is why we're doing Telefrens Pro. We want to see creators be able to add value to their community to generate revenue so that this bonding curve just makes it so easy to enforce this secondary revenue for the creators. And then number two, it's all about self-sovereignty. So we worked really hard when it comes to making sure that not only the smart accounts and the system is easy to use, but ultimately the user is able to claim sovereignty and always will be able to have their account. It belongs to you as a user, full stop. And then third is this positive sum environment that we want to move forward, because we believe if we offer these features and this service, value will be created and it will benefit others that will be able to be also empowered. And we believe in a future of abundance. And this is the main reason why we're launching Telefrens. We've learned a lot over the last few years from Collabland. We still are prioritizing and will always be there for the communities in terms of token gating. And Telefrens is just our next step or evolution to go beyond the gate so that we can protect creator royalties, secondary revenue, because that is really what is going to allow for sustainability. And the upgradability, the modularity, and this embracing of the smart accounts allows for ease of onboarding and new experimentation so that we can continue this innovation and path forward for creators, communities, and ultimately for individuals. So with that, I know we have 1 minute left. Thank you so much, Raymond, for your explanation. It's been super helpful and is inspiring, and makes me think that the next deep dive, what we can do is just talk about and explain the upgradability. We'll hopefully have upgraded by then, maybe, maybe not. Let's see. And also about the modularity here. And then we'll end off. And thank you, Chibi, for hosting, and we can end off with the POAP.
Absolutely. And I'm super excited about these latest updates. The POAP, I wanted to honor copy trading. So that is the secret phrase for today's POAP. It's been, I believe, the most requested feature for Telefrens, and it's coming so soon. So really, really excited about that. And in order to claim the POAP, in case that you're not familiar with it, and I know that we have a lot of viewers on Twitter, so I'll explain it real quick just before we end the deep dives. This is all done within Discord. So if you're not in our Discord server yet, you can find a link to join in our Collablands Twitter account. You can find a link to it. And then in any of the chats of the server, you need to write down slash POAP claim. So that's a slash command slash POAP claim. It will ask you for a claim phrase. And today's is copy trading with no spaces in between. Once you write that down, you can hit enter and you'll get a code to claim your POAP. Very easy process. In case that you're not able to claim it for any reason, you can reach out to me, ping me anywhere, and I can get you a code to claim it. But yeah, that's it for our deep dives of today. And we have a Twitter Spaces starting right now. So I would like to invite you all to join. You can find a link to the spaces in our Discord events. If you're in the state chat, you can find a link to it as well. I will send it again just in case that you're not able to find it. But we're all going there right now. So I hope to see you guys in there. And thank you, Raymond and James, so much for this presentation. We will see you guys next time for sure.